Good morning. It's 5:30 and I'm off into a dodgy warehouse in East London. I think it's a warehouse, I don't even know, because I made a hopefully good purchase. So I bought a bike and it sounds a bit dodgy, and it might be dodgy, and I don't know if it's legit or not. I think it is from the research I've done on it, but yeah, it's been shipped over last night from Northern Ireland. It's got no registration documents, and it's not in the correct paint scheme for what it is. However, this bike is the limited edition Aprilia RSV SP. So it's worth a punt. So I'm just going to go and meet this random stranger who seems nice, to be fair, but then all criminals do, don't they? So I'm off round the M25 on a Thursday morning, and it's super early, and it's all sort of a bit gloomy, but I'm not gloomy, I'm hopeful, but let's see if we've bought gold or a lemon. Yeah! Just had to stop to look at this sunrise. That's pretty lovely. We do live in a wonderful world. Sometimes. Right, let's get to it! Well then, we're here. So I'm in like a sort of very strange transport depot. It's not strange actually, it's but anyway. Got my van ready, and then here is a very special machine. Check it out. So yeah, looking forward to get this out in the sunlight and have a good look over it. Here she is then. She's rolled out the van. So obviously the eagle-eyed among you, so this is the SP. So those of you who know what this is will know that it's not in the standard paint. However, this was done as a sort of special custom back in the day, and the current owner bought it about 20 years ago. It's been in the living room ever since, and it's non-registered, but it looks amazing. I mean, to be honest, that looks better than looks way better than the standard paint. I don't know if the camera's even going to pick this up, but this is a real sort of fluorescent. It's the World Superbike rep from 2002, I think. The important bits about the SP. So we've got the number on the dash. So this is number 17 out of 150. We've got adjustable swing arm pivots. We've got adjustable engine mounts in here, and also this engine on this bike was built, well, the head was built by Cosworth. So from the standard Mille R at the time, this engine is up a good 20 brake horsepower. We've got this awesomely retro twin puppy exhaust setup here. On some of the other later bikes where you could get this Aprilia can setup, it just went straight from the two exhausts into the one. But this looks like it's a bit more involved. Under here, I'm hoping that these are the original side fairings here, which were actually carbon fibre, but because they're painted, till we get the side off, we're not going to know. But yeah, so obviously Öhlins forks all around. Another way you can spot the SP is the red brake calipers. Don't know why they're painting them red. I think it's obviously just a design thing. This bike actually, and again, this bike came with the standard Brembo wheels, but this one on here has got, I believe these are magnesium PVMs, which are also rare in their own right. But yeah, we're not going to start it because I'm going to take this straight up to Griff at AP Workshops, and we're going to get the oil out of it and get it ready before we do any mechanicals. So yeah, but so far she looks amazing. Really happy. And I was going to paint it, get it all set and painted back to standard, but it looks so good in these colours that I'm on the fence about that. But yeah, right, well, I'm going to do the deed now, get my money out, put your money where your mouth is, and then try and load her up to the van. Hey! Right, so she's all strapped in, strapped up, ready for the next phase of her life. And it's an exciting story, and I'm looking forward. Hopefully you guys, you know, maybe back in the day, you know a bit about this bike. Maybe your mate painted it. I know it was done at Speedaway Motorcycles, which aren't in existence anymore. There we go, Speedaway Motorcycles. So yeah, if you know anything about it, get in touch, and let's try and put the story together, because something like this deserves a bit more love. And yeah, I love finding out the history of things. So anyway, let's get off now and head on up to Griff at AP Workshops, who again has been amazing. He's helped me with this process, you know, telling me what to look out for, making sure it's a legit one. I mean, now it's got to be legit, right? It has all the bits, I think, that it needs, which is the swing arm pivot, the number, the top yoke, so the headstock adjustment, the carbon fairing. So I'm pretty confident. But let's get the expert's opinion. So finally I've made it up, it's gone through the traffic, all the way up north. I've got a nosebleed coming up here.
Mate, did you get your passport out and have you had your vaccination?
I have not had my vaccination, but that's my own medical history and no one else's business. But anyway.
We best keep separated properly then.
So finally up here, Griff has been fantastic with all the help. I've been on the phone constantly going, mate, what's this? Is this legit bike? And he's like, reckon it is. You know, you said go for it, so if it is a lemon,
it's my fault.
He's the one to play.
This is why these shoulders are so broad, man. So basically, it's my fault, don't worry about it, it's cool.
Exactly. But yeah, so I'm pretty confident anyway, so let's get it out. There's a load of crap in here because I'm racing at Donington this weekend, but let's get it out. So this is the first time.
This is the unveiling, so dun, da 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 dun, da 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 dun, da da da. Oh, and there's a cover on it!
You might want to come around this
Yeah, Griff, you're going to come around the other side.
Come on then. Oh, here we go.
Ready.
Wow. MS. Okay.
So that, I believe, is an Italian mobile phone company in the noughties?
That's right. That was the main sponsor of Aprilia Racing 2002, 2003, I believe.
Wow.
This is clean.
I mean, look in there.
This is clean.
Well, let's get it out.
Ridden.
Let's put it, yeah. And I think it's been ridden quite hard because the brakes are a bit dark, which is good. I think that's a good sign.
Left hand down. Left hand down. That's it. You're good.
You want to go on the ramp, so I'll do a little. Come on then, Griff. What do you reckon?
So far, this is looking pretty spectacular.
Yeah?
I'm looking at a different paint job, but I'm looking at sort of the detail. If you have a look at the detail of what's going on this bike here, to the point where we're starting to look. Now I know that the wheels aren't standard, so the wheels look, they're PVMs on this one. Originally they would have come with like the standard RSV Brembo wheels on them, but do you know what?
So not even the blue, because everyone's like, oh, the OZs were standard.
So basically, this was the situation in UK, and this is UK only because I know this is basically something that can be seen all over the world. But in the UK, there was a gentleman who used to run a company called Aprilia Moto UK, who were the importers for Aprilia in the UK. Now, basically, the SPs in the UK didn't sell that well. The reason they didn't sell that well is because they were really expensive.
And how much were they?
I think there was something in the region of about 24 grand when they were new.
Wow, in like what, 2000?
In 2000, yeah, I think so. But I'm sure Rich will be on the phone and he'll let me know that actually you're really wrong. But you know what? Because he is still one of our customers, the guy that does, he's got Meliar. But they came with Brembos, and sort of as an incentive to sell them, the dealers were given set of OZ wheels.
Right.
So basically, you got 2 sets of wheels with them when you bought them.
Okay.
That kind of helped. And that's where in the UK that kind of confusion came from, where they didn't come. So if you imagine this bike, when it was sold as a race bike. So there was things on this bike that were specifically, I know it sounds really daft, but were designed to be kind of thrown away.
Yeah.
So if you imagine,
so when you go through this, because ultimately, like what we need to achieve here is for you to tell me that first of all, yes, it's a genuine SP.
Yes, it's a genuine SP.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Already, you're even convinced already.
Absolutely, this is a genuine SP.
Yes.
Ding dong. Yeah, this is a genuine SP, no question.
Amazing.
Okay.
Because that was really worrying me, because obviously it was quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it came from Northern Ireland. It's in the wrong paint. It's a bit like, oh god, but
right. So basically, the frame number's correct.
Okay.
The frame number.
So these are the things that an SP.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is it. This is how to look out for things. So in order for you to be able to identify a genuine SP, the frame number is unique. If you have a look around the headstock around here, you'll find that there's a shim which allows you to have adjustable steering angle.
Okay.
So you can take this off and replace this shim here.
Yeah.
If you have a look down here, again exactly the same thing. This is the kind of stuff that modern bikes have got now as kind of standard. But in sort of 2000, 99, 2000, when this bike was around, and this was kind of like one of those bikes that ruled the world, this kind of stuff was cutting edge. So effectively you could replace or take this bolt off, replace that shim, which would allow you to raise or lower the ride height of the actual swing arm spindle.
Okay.
Exactly the same, if you have a look on the front underneath here, you can actually move the engine about slightly just to sort of change the weight around, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of things which were standard road gear, but if you look at what's going on, it's kind of under the skin. You can see that some kind of this is, what's this about? This isn't so.
Yeah.
If you have a quick look under here, there should be. I think if you feel there should be a weld underneath here, because the tank was actually aluminium. So
yeah, because they were plastic as standard, weren't they?
Sort of. This was the changeover year, because basically they were 2000. They were steel. Changeover, right. So there were some which were steel and some which was a plastic. So you could usually feel sort of like a little bit of alley welding, because they were alley tanks. The exhaust correct. That exhaust mount's correct. If you haven't looked underneath, we've already had a nose, as I was having a nose around underneath the when we were taking it out, because I can't contain myself. So I'm that kind of a weirdo. But there's the SP had a unique suspension link as well, which is again absolutely unique for this particular bike. That's in place as well. So this is the real deal. Absolutely the real deal. Ding dong. Happy days.
Happy bloody days.
So all that remains now, mate, is to just make sure it runs and goes and drives, so you can actually see the difference. So you're going to ride this?
Yeah, I mean, it's only got 1,100 miles, but it's unregistered, so that's another sort of weird history thing. And also, you know, guys, when you out there, I'm sure, like, one of you will know someone who used to work at Speedaway Motorcycles, which apparently were known for doing this type of thing.
Yeah, in Birmingham, yeah, Speedaway. I know a couple of lads that work at Speedaway, so
yeah.
You know who you are.
Or someone may, like, it's not uncommon for people to watch our stuff and go, oh, my mate painted that bike. So if you did, let us know about it, you know, because it's all part of piecing the history together. So, well, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy that
I'd be buzzing if I was you, mate.
It's got the seal of approval.
You've just stolen this bike, mate. You've absolutely just stolen this bike, yeah. And if I was in your shoes right now, I'd be pretty excited and probably pissing like a puppy. Yes.
Well, should we put her on the ramp and have a little nose around?
Let's have a nose.
Right, so Griff can't contain himself.
No, I'm going to pull this apart and have a quick look. Now, I've already seen a couple of things which are really making my radars ping, if you like. Yeah. Like sort of like the nerdy stuff that makes you ping if you want. Yeah. So effectively on the back edge of this particular bike, on the back end of the engine, the SP had the numbers stamped, like hand stamped into the casings.
Okay.
Whereas the standard engine numbers were kind of like printed using a dot matrix printer, or,
right.
or like a dot printer. Yeah, there you go. So look, through here you can see straight away. So it's a 4-bolt manifold. Again, this is absolutely an SP. So if you have a quick look here, you can also see.
Yeah.
These here where you could move the front of the engine up and down. So these are the shims that you can replace here.
Wow.
So this has been cleaned up or partially restored, I would suggest, at some particular point in time, because obviously these are a bit grubby, and they didn't have these Jubilee clips as standard, so they've been replaced. They came with what are called constant tension clips like this.
Yeah. But if they're anything like the standard Aprilia clips on my RSV4, then they're absolute dog shit.
But again, if you have a quick look back, this looks like it's...
Yeah, so that's my other concern, because obviously these panels themselves are very rare, aren't they? And if we're going to repaint this, because again, I'm on the fence about what to do, and you're going to help me with this later, help make a decision. But do we strip the paint off, get it back, and then redo it as an original SP? I
think if you have a look at it, if you have a look at how this works, I think if the people out there that know anything about the paint job on this, or have got any history on this, that is going to decide what you're going to do with it at the end of the day. The reason being is because if this has some kind of race history or some kind of heritage with it, then it's always worth investigating that just to make sure.
Because you never know, like Troy Corser could have come over and done a lap on it round the Ulster GP. Who knows?
But yeah, that's the real deal. Absolutely the real deal. If you have a look, the brake calipers are correct.
Mega.
The brake pins.
Yeah, we're missing some pinch bolts here, just because when it was in this guy's living room for 20 years, the fork seals went and it dripped on his floor. So we got them replaced. There's a bit of a mark on. I mean, this is common as anything, right? I mean, on these bikes, boot, scrape, something.
It's a standard Millie swinging arm.
Yeah.
Because it was designed to be replaced with an aftermarket swinging arm when it was raced.
Yeah. So there's that. This little sort of manifold, the exhaust protector's a bit flappy. I don't know why that's not.
It should be 2 screws. Just pin it back up there.
Yeah.
That's no problems. That's dead straightforward. In fact, this screw's wrong. Yes, I'm one of those nerds that knows about this.
That screw is wrong.
My God, what kind of horror is this?
What are we going to do?
A bit like that, really.
That is wrong.
It's gold. It matches.
Well, there's a pink one on the back.
Well, it matches. I'm not sure. It doesn't actually match anything, but
the rear PSI. Oh, well, these are the original Super Corsa Dragon tyres as well.
Can we date these?
Yeah, they're 2000. Are they? Yeah, the date is on them somewhere. So there you go. Look,
the Flintstones.
But that's another nice sign that the story I know, which is, hey, it went into someone's living room and it sat there for 20 years, seems completely legit. I mean, it was covered in dust. Yesterday I did give it a bit of a wash down and tried to get a lot of the stuff off. And I was, very tempted to... I did not want to start this bike. Here's the main reason I'm here. Like, I want a professional, which in this case is you, to look over this bike, make sure everything is absolutely tip-top before we even start trying to turn it on, make the loud noise happen.
Yeah.
So it's just, proper service, fluids, obviously to check, you can tell me that it's a legit bike, which I think we've established now it is. So now let's get it running.
Okay.
There's no battery in it.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Do you reckon we'll be able to do that today?
Yeah.
Will we?
Yeah.
Will we?
Yeah.
So I'm going to hear it today?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm going to hear if it's actually exploding or not.
Could hear it actually exploding or not. Okay, let's get this done then. Let's just split these panels off.
I'll put the kettle on then. So we're dropping the oil now.
Just have a quick look at that.
It doesn't look too bad, does it?
No, not at all. Not at all.
See, I reckon it would have had, again, I don't have the documentation for this, but I reckon it would have had first service, then been painted. I reckon it was used as a demo bike for like a couple of, I don't know, parade laps or something like that.
Yeah.
Come and have a go on. It's definitely, I think it's been on a circuit, because to get those brakes that hot, you can't really do that on the road unless you're a proper knob. So I think it's got to have been a couple of laps somewhere.
Okay. Can't ride like that no more either, so yeah,
well, exactly.
I'm going to agree with you on that one, yeah. So look, this part here is absolutely unique.
I was going to say, it doesn't look anything. That's normally where the filter goes, right?
That's right, yeah. So normally you'd have 2 different types of filter caps on there.
Yeah.
And at this particular point in time, because it's an SP, genuine SP, just while you're there as well, look, just want to poke your head around there, see if you can see that, see if you can see those engine numbers. Let me see if I can get a light on there as well.
We got it. Yeah.
They're hand stamped. That again is a sign that this is a genuine article. The guy you bought it off sounded like he was genuine.
He's a good lad. Do you know what?
He sounded really cool. He was quite happy to dish out any information, so that anybody that's trying to hide something would be a little bit more coy with information like that, wouldn't they?
And that's what he said to me as well. It's like, I've got nothing to hide. He does rallied stuff. He used to do road racing. He used to run a road racing team in Northern Ireland back in the day. But, anyway.
Fair enough.
That lovely golden oil.
Look at it. It's beautifully clean. Standard size oil filter. So for the used guys that have got...
Okay, so that's the small one. Yeah?
There you go. Yeah, this is the standard size oil filter here, look. Effectively, there's two different types, the standard or extended. In the SP, you can only put one on, obviously, because this here is quite unique, but the extended filter on your other Aprilias is about sort of that much longer, so and they're not interchangeable.
And so why is that piece? What benefits are we getting for having that?
Better lubrication.
Right, okay.
That's it. Better lubrication. Simple as that. So this engine was actually developed by Cosworth Engineering for Rotax for this particular project. This is, I think, Aprilia and Cosworth have had quite a long relationship in the past. If you have a look traditionally, I think Cosworth were responsible for the Cube as well.
Oh, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, the Cube. The one that Jeremy McWilliams said famously was the I think when I spoke to him last, he was like the most hateful bike he's ever ridden in his life. Which is like, I really wanted to like that. So we'll let that drain out.
Okay.
Let's go and have a look at the coolant, make sure the coolant's okay, make sure we've got plenty of that in stock, make sure that's okay. Then what we'll do is we'll turn the engine over with no load on it to start off with. We're going to have a look inside the airbox just to make sure everything's cool on that side.
And fuel, I guess, as well. It could be a bit ganky and manky and gummy and.
Just got to keep going.
Okay, and we're on quarter rates for fees today, right?
You're not even making tea, man.
I know, I'm filming you.
Come on, for crying out loud.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Come on. This part here, this lipped part here, this again is unique.
Oh yeah.
And all of this linkage here, so the rising rate on that's actually unique as well. It's got a 90 newton meter spring on it again, which in 2000 it would have been 110 newton meters. So again, the actual shock is unique to this as well. But this is the good bit. I mean, this is the funky bit that everybody wants to look at. But before we go, the funky bit, before we have a quick look, there's chain loop here.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been ridden.
Oh yeah. So well, there's 1,100 miles on it. So
it's a good thing, isn't it, though?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
So look, basically up here, still based on a Rotax V990 engine. If you have a quick look, single plug head. So one single spark plug underneath here, whereas normally if you were looking at a Rotax V990, twin plug head sort of sat down the side down here.
Okay.
Two coils here, so you can see like the indent where the coils would normally sit. This would be your coil bracket here. So this is kind of, just kind of goes to show you the kind of transitional parts between the SP and the standard
because
robot.
The frame is different though, isn't it? It's a stiffer frame, I gather.
It's a different frame altogether because, like I said, we've got the shims over there to adjust the headstock and stuff. Okay. So it's a completely different stock, but they're using, I imagine this part here.
It's probably the same.
It's the same. So the frame builders, a company called MT, an Italian frame building firm called MT, basically probably would have used the same piece here, but obviously put a different headstock into it.
Yeah.
That's how that would have worked on the frame building front. But this is all good because this is here is the kind of.
I'll come around this way.
Have a quick look around here. The airbox kit.
Look at those gapers.
Look at. So the kind of the throttle bodies are very similar to the standard ones again. I think they're 51mm throttle bodies. Throttle bodies and throttle cables are the same, but underneath here, like I said, this is the part where you sort of tend to get it. This is the how it came out of the factory new kind of stuff with this airbox kit on it, but you can see the sort of the underside of it. Mm-hmm. If you run your finger down here, you can see there's kind of like an aluminium welding because this is a hand-formed tank to give you that sort of little bit.
So the whole tank would have been hand-beaten?
Handmade, yeah.
Handmade, wow.
Yeah.
That's why you can see these sort of slight deformations, because it's human.
Handmade, it's a race bike. If you go and look, if you have a quick look at race bikes when they're built and when they're new, and when you...
They are a bit manky, aren't they?
I mean, they're like a bit beaten, aren't they? You know what I mean? Let's face it, if you sort of have your head smashed in every time you go out, you're gonna come back a little bit with like jaggedy tooth sometimes, aren't you, as it sits at this point in time. But on these tanks, they've got, obviously, they kind of make this area a little bit more, should we say, capacious.
Yes.
because if you increase the capacity of the airbox on these engines, it's allowed them to breathe better. You get better mid-range, and you can obviously sort of fuel and put ignition tables.
And you sell a kit basically that replicates that now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Available in the description.
www.apworkshops.co.uk. Buy yours now.
Exactly. That means I'm going to get this all work for free now.
He thinks he is. That's what it's all about.
And so this top tree is obviously, the top clamp is obviously different. And these little, is this just for the clip-ons?
Yeah.
That's not on mine though. No,
absolutely not. Again, this top yoke is completely unique to this particular bike, stamped with its original number. All of these sort of sub-assemblies, because when you build race bikes, you build sub-assemblies. So the switch gear that you would have on a race bike, all that kind of stuff would be all sort of laid out and just easily bolted in like that.
Yeah.
So effectively just slide over, bolt onto the top yoke, clamp it in so you know you run that place.
Right.
These have to be in here, I believe, to when you homologate a bike to make sure that it will turn specifically.
Gotcha.
So.
And these fork tops are unique as well, aren't they? Because they've got double nuts.
Factory spec, 1 year only. These are absolutely the only bike that these were ever fitted to in the Aprilia range. I believe some of the 888 and the I believe some of the early 916s had those on them as well. I'm not 100%.
So those forks are like rare as.
Absolutely like chicken's lips.
Wow.
That's it. That's how they go. That's how they go. But there's a ton of things which cross over to the road bike. There's a lot of things which are pretty cool, which don't, which is.
So this bike was, as far as I'm aware, this bike was developed for Aprilia's first year entry into World Superbikes.
Yes.
Right.
Developed by a rider called Peter Goddard.
You just know everyone.
All good people, man. These are all cool people. The Aprilia world's a tight community, man. They're good people that look after each other. It's pretty cool. Very cool, in fact. We're just going to continue on anyway. I'm going to talk all of this down now and just make sure.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, I'll go and drink some.
Drink tea.
I'll go and drink tea
while I'm actually doing the important stuff.
Go and do my hair. Fuel in.
Just caught me sniffing the fuel. Sorry about that.
God.
My dad would be disappointed. It's only unleaded, not the real deal.
4-star.
You've got to 4-star. You've got to sniff the 4-star, our kid.
Foreskin.
Are you allowed to say things like that?
You can say foreskin. We've said foreskin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, some fresh juice, man. So what I've done basically, just to make sure everything's cool in the gang with this engine, because we don't know how long it's been, so what I've done was effectively turn the engine over with the fuel pump disconnected, just to make sure that we can turn the engine over and it's not going to sort of affect. Let's get some oil around the engine before we start it. So I'm going to reconnect the fuel pump.
Okay.
Down here.
I can't believe, I honestly, I was like...
This is it, man. This is the big moment.
Honestly, I was like, I'll drop it off, we'll have a little laugh. Hopefully he says what it is, but...
This is the big moment. Are we ready for this?
Wait a minute. Wait. Okay, go on.
Okay, can you hear that one more time? So this here, can you hear that little squeak?
Yeah. What's that?
So that's the fuel system bleeding.
Okay.
So there's air in the system that's running through the pressure regulator. So let's see what we've got, shall we? Let's take this out of the way.
Okay. Oh my god. How did you do that? What do we do now?
So it's run up to temperature a couple of times. There's no oil leaks. It runs, it starts, it goes. It's in cracking conditions. There's no bumps, knocks, or dings or anything along those lines. This is, like I said, it's typically the short stroke motor, the short stroke SP motor. So, fact is, this is just great. You just need.
I've been looking at your face.
I'm just, oh mate, honestly, I just wish it was mine. I just wish it was mine.
Well, it can be.
It can be for gazillion quid, which I haven't got. But look, just go and ride it. It's a short stroke motor. The difference is with the short stroke motor is it revs up a lot harder, a lot quicker. There's a subtle difference between this and the road bike in that instance. So you've got to go and ride it. No matter how you get out there, just get out there and ride it and see what you can do, and kind of let me know what you think. But basically, this is spectacular.
So she's got a clean bill of health.
Absolutely, yeah. Just change them tyres. Change them tyres because they're
only 20 years old.
Oh, come on, man. What's the matter with you?
Real men ride 20-year-old tyres.
Real men ride 20-year-old tyres.
Well, come on, let's start it up. Let's have a bit of a rev sesh.
Okay, rev sesh.
Will we get flame?
No.
You won't get
do
flame.
That. No. Flames aren't good.
Flames aren't. Typical, the sun's gone in now.
But look, it's no biggie. If we go for a wander just up here,
yeah,
you can do that.
Well, let's ride it up there, no?
Come on then.
Okay.
I'm scared.
How does that feel? Does it feel like you're riding something special?
Yeah, but you can't put your feet on the
yeah.
The throttle response is so crisp, clean.
It's brand new.
There we go.
Right up to the other end, look by that warehouse.
Oh, mate. Oh, mate. Go on, have a get on it then. Have a get on it then.
Have a get on it, lad. I tell me.
See what I mean about the heel with the exhaust?
Yeah. If you have a look, there's all
yeah, someone's boot.
That's actually where their boots have been like that, and they've done that.
So I gave it a little bit of a blip on the throttle, and she pulls.
It will do. Wait till we go for a ride on this, man. You wait till we go for a ride and see if you can, like I said, we'll take out, I've got a 2000R. Okay. 2000R was the road going version of this rather than the SP, so what we'll do is we can kind of compare it if you want to, sort of compare and contrast to see the difference, because we did get asked that question quite a lot. What's the difference? Short stroke engine, what's the difference between the R? Can you feel any difference on the forks, that kind of stuff? Perhaps I'm not good enough to tell the difference on the forks, but you can certainly tell the difference on the suspension, on the on the engine. That's for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, have a go.
I mean, I guess the fork oil and all that nonsense should be replaced, but it'll be fine.
It's not been used though, has it? That's what I mean.
That is true.
Absolutely, like not ever been used.
It's very sexy. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as we did making it, and I just want to say again how grateful I am to have Griff's help with this rare and gorgeous bike. Both he and the AP Workshops team are without doubt the Aprilia experts in the UK, so if you need anything, call them. They also have an extensive library of useful Aprilia videos on YouTube for your perusal. Links in the description. Thank you once again for joining us here on 44 Teeth for all your moto content. Make sure you like and subscribe. Grazie mille!